bracing for impact this week. New Orleans' position precarious.
As packed as it can get.
During Katrina.
It's too dangerous to ride out a hurricane.
She's now seeking refuge in a shelter with mandatory temperature checks and a special section for COVID-positive evacuees as the city pauses COVID testing through at least Tuesday.
2020 is just unbelievable, and on top of that is COVID.
Choppy waters Gulf cities are forced to navigate as the prospect of a major hurricane looms. Locks in the French Quarter now bearing with sandbags and boarded windows.
It's kind of like, what else can they throw at us?
Perpetually in flux, finding itself in a familiar place.
Over Cuba, moving west-northwest at 20. Limited strengthening through tomorrow morning, but then it's out over the open waters of the Gulf. Landfall sometime Thursday morning with 105-mile-per-hour winds as a Category 2. Warm waters, low wind shear, moisture from Marco all make this dangerous. Upwards of 15 inches of rain, the possibility of tornadoes and high winds.
Away from us is, if this is a rigged election, we're going to win this election. We're going to win this election.
I would shut it down. I would listen to the scientists.
Biden the other day said, no, he'd shut it down. We just broke a record on jobs, an all-time record.
That focus on the economy, especially pre-coronavirus, is central to the president's re-election strategy.
But think of your life just prior to the plague coming in. It was the best it's ever been.
And his campaign's putting
You're sitting there, you got a ballot. Here's the bottom line. It was just given that in the polls, believe it or not, that because the polls try and treat us right. That's why I respect Rasmussen, because they did well. A few of the others feel the same way, and they did well last time. Those are the ones that I look at, the ones that did well last time. And Rasmussen was very good. But if you look at it, every single vote that they have, every single vote, it's going to be looked at. A man is sitting, or a woman is sitting, waiting for nothing, watching television, has no enthusiasm. Because on enthusiasm, the polls are saying that I'm up by massive numbers, not just a little. I'm also way up on the economy, by the way, put it down. Way up. But I'm up by massive, and he's the greatest loser I've ever seen. This guy can lose and be so happy. Hillary Clinton, I want to use nice language, so I don't want to use a certain word. It starts with the word S-C. I don't want to use it because they'll say he used foul language while in North Carolina. But so I won't do that. But Bernie Sanders got taken advantage of, is that okay? By Hillary Clinton, but worse, by the Democrats this time. Because of Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, got out of the campaign one day prior to the Super Tuesday vote. Bernie Sanders would have won every single state because Biden won by a little bit. And she didn't do well, but she took thousands and thousands of votes away in each state. If you add just a percentage of those votes back, that means that Bernie would have won easily the nomination. And I'm glad he didn't, because he had much more enthusiasm. Yeah. And he would have had a base, much smaller base than ours, but equally, I have to say this, equally as enthusiastic. Just a percentage of those votes back, that means that Bernie would have won easily the nomination. And I'm glad he didn't, because he had much more enthusiasm. Yeah. This base doesn't like Joe Biden. They don't like Joe Biden. I think we're going to get a lot of votes. We did last time. People were surprised, primarily because of trade, because I know how other countries take advantage of us, and I understand that. And that's something that Bernie Sanders people really feel, because I understand trade. I've done USMCA now. I got rid of NAFTA, the world's worst trade. China had the worst year they've had in 67 years prior to the plague. The worst year they've had in decades and decades. And we had the best year we've ever had. But we took in billions from China. We never took in 10 cents from China. Never took in 10 cents. They took China for 25 years, and not only Obama, for 25 years, China was taking in anywhere between 200 billion with a B and $550 billion from the United States. I give them all the credit, number one, for being smart and foxing all of the people that stood here and their representatives. But China, we built China. We helped build. We gave them $300, $400, $500 billion a year. Because before that, and before the World Trade Organization and they getting into it, China was flatlined. It was after that happened. And then they took advantage of us because we didn't have people that were smart enough to see. And by the way, Biden would be the worst of all of them.